Hello everyone, welcome back to the One Diaries and welcome to a chapter of a brand new journey, Rooted and Rising. This series is especially for every woman who has spent years giving to everyone else, yet somehow forgotten to value herself. Today's question is simple but deeply personal. Why do we keep settling for less than we deserve? Not because we are weak, not because we lack intelligence, but because somewhere along the way we began believing that asking for more was asking for too much. Maybe we settled in relationships because we feared being alone. Maybe we settled in our careers because we doubted our abilities. Maybe we settled for silence because speaking up felt uncomfortable. Or perhaps we settled because we became so used to surviving that we forgot we were created to thrive. The truth is, what we repeatedly accept eventually becomes our normal. And sometimes we don't even realize we have settled until we see what healthy, respectful, and peaceful actually looks like. As women, many of us are taught to be kind, patient, and sacrificial. These are beautiful qualities, but kindness should never require us to abandon ourselves. Patience should never mean tolerating disrespect. Love should never demand that we shrink ourselves just to make others comfortable. Settling often begins with one small compromise. I'll ignore this. It isn't that important. Maybe I'm expecting too much. Over time, those compromises become habits. And before we know it, we have built a life around accepting less than we truly deserve. But here's something I want you to remember today. Knowing your worth is not pride, it is wisdom. You can be humble without thinking less of yourself. You can be loving without losing yourself. And you can be compassionate without carrying burdens that were never yours to carry. Here are 5 practical steps to follow. Firstly, notice where you are settling. Ask yourself honestly, is there an area of my life where I've accepted less simply because it felt easier? Awareness is the first step toward change. Secondly, challenge the story you have been telling yourself. Do you secretly believe? This is the best I'll ever get. I don't deserve better. I should just be grateful. Replace those thoughts with truth. You are worthy of respect, peace, and healthy relationships. Thirdly, set one healthy boundary this week. A boundary doesn't push people away. It teaches people how to treat you. Start with one small boundary. It could simply be saying, that doesn't work for me. Fourthly, invest in yourself. Read, learn, develop a new skill, care for your health. The more you invest in yourself, the less likely you are to settle for less. Fifthly, choose progress, not perfection. You don't have to change your whole life overnight. One brave decision today can change the direction of your tomorrow. As we pause together, I invite you to reflect on these questions. Where in my life have I quietly accepted less than I truly deserve? What fear is keeping me from choosing something healthier? What is one courageous step I can take this week to honor my own worth? Write your answers down. Sometimes clarity begins with honesty. Beautiful soul, never confuse settling with contentment. Contentment is finding peace in who you are. Settling is believing you are not worthy of more. You were never created to live beneath your potential. You were created to grow, to flourish, to rise. So choose yourself not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. Because when a woman begins to value herself, she gives others permission to do the same. Until next time, stay rooted in your values, rise into your purpose, and never forget, you are worthy of more than you have settled for. Stay rooted, rise with purpose.